How's it going? Trey Clark here, as I usually am. Gonna jump right into this as I usually do. Posted some stuff yesterday about what might be not the worst thing in the world as far as the situation with what I'm going to call the crown sickness, so the algorithms don't come after me. My wife took a few minutes to record her thoughts on what we were talking about this morning, and instead of us just talking about it and me relaying it to you, I thought I would put her on this also. If you're wondering about what's actually true or not as far as Planned Parenthood and abortions happening right now, I did a little legwork this morning and called Planned Parenthood to try and plan an abortion. Don't worry, my wife is way too old to have one. She's filming right now. And they are not performing abortions legally. Surgical abortions are not happening. They gave me Texans Women's Health Organization of Austin. I think that's right. They are doing, I'm not promoting this, they are doing pill forced miscarriages. That sounds just awful. But that's what is legal right now. You can go do that. As far as I can tell, over the phone, you cannot schedule an abortion. I don't think they are doing them right now.
Someone talked about the back alley abortions, basically, and how at least they're not being in a sterile environment. And I said, how do you know they're sterile and sanitary when they're exempt from health department inspections?
Game on. Okay, so my wife's going to give you her take on this, and I'll kind of follow it up with this. So hang in there. God dang it. Cheers.
Well, Trey asked me to say a few words about the coronavirus and being home and all those things. And actually, we were talking about it this morning, and I think some good things are coming out of it. Number one, for the first time in 47 years, Planned Parenthood is closed. There were no abortions yesterday or today in Texas, and that makes me happy.
How many does that add up to after today?
We were calculating rough figures based on information we could find, and it is somewhere between 300 and 400 abortions a day. So we have new babies coming. One thing that I think, years ago I used to work at Crisis Pregnancy Center and counsel girls, so I saw girls pre-abortion and post-abortion and talked with them. One of the things that I'm hoping is that anyone who has been scheduled for an abortion, that it really gives them a chance to stop and think. Because in my experience, the women contemplating abortion, it was not lightly thought about.
And you talked to women before and after abortions as far as counseling in your experience?
I did, used to. So the women that I saw pre-abortion were usually desperate, in a desperate situation. It was not taken lightly. They felt they had no other choice, and there are other choices.
Did you ever see anyone with that kind of jubilee feeling or righteous feeling that you see on the news of people saying, yes, I'm proud that I had one, and that kind of nonsense? Or
never.
I saw a single event where someone was just proud and
never. I saw fear and despair and confusion and hopelessness is what I saw. And we really tried to give them hope and different alternatives and plans for the future. And there were even several ladies that said, no, I'm going to have an abortion. And we still supported them in that decision and loved them through it. The women post-abortion, and there are a lot of them that hang on to the dread of what happened. It's not
post-counseling, correct?
Yes, it is not an easy thing to live with afterward. A lot of time it's just suppressed. but it seems like a silent grieving that they don't feel they can share with anyone. And there's a lot of misconception that pro-life is against women, and it's quite the opposite. It's like, I've seen the women, and and it's because of the women that I chose to help with crisis pregnancy centers and help with that.
Okay, what would you say to people that are pro-life that have been very frustrated with the idea that Planned Parenthood is so funded and too big to fail, so to speak? What do you think about that right now?
Well,
On day two.
Day two, we are seeing the reality that it can happen, that abortion can be just a dark spot in our past, and that we can move forward with life. We can see the reality of no abortions in Texas, of babies living, of families whole. So that's my take.
Anything else?
Well, I think through this whole coronavirus thing, I've enjoyed seeing posts of families that are getting to spend time together, that their busy schedules have, been cleared, that children are spending time with each other, with their mothers, with their fathers, that they are getting the quality time and just the loving family environment that I think children crave. So I think while we're all scared of the financial future and our jobs and all those things, no, we're not. We want to pay bills. We want to make sure our employers can pay bills. But at the same time, there is a lot of good coming out of this, and I think it's good things like families being at home together, babies being saved. It's like we can look at the silver lining everywhere we can.
Maybe like a little God timeout.
Maybe.
Plus, you get to hear all my jokes all day long.
Well, there is that.
We've been programmed to think that it's easy to just go in and get a same-day abortion. Literally, I'm pretty sure that if you're in a major city, you can call in the morning and have an abortion the same day. But not yesterday and not today. So we're looking at pushing 400. It's 360. I'm calling it 400 just to be positive here. So, and another thing that might happen is if it's not that easy to, like if you have to travel to another state, which is a lot more expenses and stuff like that. I mean, hopefully what the outcome is, it's not that easy to make a bad decision. Making it not easy might just convince someone to go, hold on, let's spend that $1 on a condom at the gas station, so then we don't have to go through all the trouble. One thing I want to touch on is I believe, like anyone I know, women's rights, of course, women deserve the same rights as men do. But what women that are very pro-choice, and for some reason, if you see them on TV, they're exuberantly pro-choice, as if they can't wait to get pregnant just so they can abort that little fucker, which I think is just propaganda. But you don't have a right to your body. Not in all situations. You don't have the right to inject heroin into your body, right? You don't have the right to commit suicide, even though I don't know how that works. But you can be prosecuted if you fail, if you do it incorrectly. And oddly, in the most liberal of cities, you don't even have the right to purchase certain large sizes of soda, or at least that's the agenda. So this idea that you have the right to do whatever you want to your body because it's your choice is not accurate. It's false. And I'm not backing down from this idea. You want to be pro-choice? Make good decisions on the front end rather than something on the back end. And like my wife said, and what Susan said in the video, it ain't like what they're telling you on TV. That waiting room is not just a bunch of fun stuff going around. And the door on the way out does not pass the door on the way in, because no one wants to see the look on those young women's faces as they leave. And here's the last thing I want to hit on, is that it is discouraging to have your principles be that it is very important that we stand strong against the idea that people are using abortion as a form of birth control. Now, the circumstances that lead up to that, maybe they think that's their only option. So if you think about 360 to 400 abortions were avoided just in Texas today, that does thwart bad decisions from young people. This is day 2. 180 more babies are not going to be aborted in the state of Texas today. Ted Cruz said the words, if we have to shut the entire economy down just to stop abortion, it will be worth it. If we just get till April 1st, how many babies will not be aborted? At least by then. So just give it some thought. Cheers, guys.
I only smoke when I drink. I only drink when it hurts. It only hurts every day. And every day it gets worse. Worse is being alone. At least alone I can think. Thinking's best with smoke. Only smoke when I drink. Think I might have a smoke. Only smoke when I drink.